Audio test. Check 1, 2, 3.
Good morning. I see Commissioner Coleman.
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Good morning. Commissioner Holzman.
Good morning.
Morning. Commissioner Kolkmeyer.
Good morning.
Morning. And Commissioner Mitchell.
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair.
Good morning. All right. It is right at 9 a.m. almost. All the commissioners are present, so we'll begin the agenda meeting for today, Wednesday, August 28th. I would ask those who are participating on the call to please mute your phone unless you need to speak. Today, there are 4 tariffs and new orders, 1 case discussion, and 3 other discussion items. But first, we need to approve the minutes from the August 21st, 2024 agenda. Those minutes have been provided in advance. Commissioners, are there any changes or modifications to those minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting those minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? By a vote of 5-0, those minutes are approved. We also need to approve the MISO SPP public meeting minutes, which were listed on the agenda under other discussion, but because they require a vote, we'll take them now with the regular agenda minutes. On Wednesday, August 14th, the Commission held a public meeting with MISO and SPP to discuss resource adequacy for the upcoming seasons. Both MISO and SPP presented at this meeting. The minutes have been circulated in advance. Commissioners, are there any changes or modifications to those minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting those minutes, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? By a vote of 5-0, those minutes are approved. First tariff and order today is in file number GX-2024-0326 and the matter of the Commission's rule relating to renewable natural gas programs. This is the final order of rulemaking for the Renewable Natural Gas Program rule. The filed comment period ended on July 17th, and the Commission held a hearing on July 23rd where additional comments and responses were given. The comments that the Commission adopted here include changes to prevent double recovery, ensuring that there's a prudence review at least annually, and that RNG costs are also not recovered through the PGA. I thank our staff and our stakeholders for reaching resolution on this rule from legislation passed in 2021. With that, I recommend we approve the order version number 1. Commissioner Coleman.
I support the order.
Commissioner Holzman.
I'm in support of the order.
Commissioner Kolkmeyer.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell.
I support the order.
All those in favor of approving this order, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? By a vote of 5-0, that order is approved. The second tariff and order today is in file number GX-2024-0337 and the matter of the proposed amendment of the Commission's rule on standards of quality. This is also a final order of rulemaking to amend the gas standards of quality rule. This rulemaking is complementary to the rulemaking order we just voted on and had the same filed comment period and hearing date. This rule was to ensure that any RNG met standards associated with pipeline quality gas and to ensure that any RNG used will be provided in a safe manner to our citizens. With that, I recommend we approve the order version number 1. Commissioner Coleman.
I support the order.
Commissioner Holzman.
I'm in support of the order.
Commissioner Kolkmeyer.
I support the order.
Commissioner Mitchell.
I support the order.
All those in favor of approving this order, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? By a vote of 5-0, that order is approved. Third tariff and order today is in file number ER-2024-0319 in the matter of Union Electric Company, DBA Ameren, Missouri's tariffs to adjust its revenue for electric service. On June 28th of this year, Ameren submitted a tariff revision intended to increase its revenues for electric service. The commission has suspended that tariff revision until June 1st of 2025. On August 9th, the parties submitted a proposed procedural schedule. Ameren also proposed a test year of the 12 months ending March 31st, 2024, and trued up through December 31st, 2024. The commission offered the parties an opportunity to respond to the proposed test year. Only staff responded and stated it did not oppose Ameren's proposed test year and true-up period. Therefore, the order before us today adopts the parties' proposed procedural schedule and Ameren's proposed test year and true-up period. With that, I recommend we approve the order version number 1. Commissioner Coleman.
I support the order.
Commissioner Holzman.
I support the order.
Commissioner Kolkmeyer.
I support the order.
Commissioner Mitchell.
I'm in support of the order.
All those in favor of approving this order, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? By a vote of 5-0, that order is approved. The fourth tariff in order today is in file number WR-2024-0320 in the matter of Missouri American Water's request for authority to implement a general rate increase for water and sewer service. On August 15th, Missouri American, on behalf of itself and 10 other parties, filed a motion with proposed dates, times, and locations for local public hearings. The presiding judge contacted the parties on August 20th and asked them to resubmit their motion, considering scheduling and logistics issues. On August 22nd, the parties filed a revised motion. The commission will adopt most of the party suggestions in the revised motion, except for one location that is recommended for a day and time the judge has alerted parties is not available. Therefore, the order before us sets 5 in-person and 2 virtual local public hearings. With that, I recommend we approve the order version number 2. Commissioner Coleman.
I support the order.
Commissioner Holzman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also support the order. However, I would just say that we've had pretty poor participation in the last 2 local public hearings that we've had. We've got another one today. Hopefully we'll get some participation, but I don't know if it's systematic, something that we are doing or not doing to get the word out, or if we're having too many of them and the WebEx would have been sufficient. I'm not sure what it is, but I just want to draw attention to the commission that we had 1 person in Butler and we had 1 person last night in Hannibal. So I just want to point that out, that 5 is a lot if we're only getting 1 person per hearing.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure if it's the case or something else. So good points. Thank you, Commissioner.
Madam Chair, I would
Yes.
suggest that it may be the case because, this hearing that we're discussing in this order is relative to a water company, and everybody needs water to survive. I suspect that we get big turnouts at water cases hearings. So it may just be case to case that we have to consider.
Yeah, agree. Thank you. We'll continue to monitor participation and maybe adjust after that. Commissioner Kolkmeyer.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I support the order, and I also support reevaluating the local public hearing. And not to do away with them, but just and maybe not have as many in person.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Mitchell.
Madam Chair, I support the order.
All those in favor of approving this order, please say aye.
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 All those opposed? By a vote of 5-0, that order is approved. Okay, we have case discussion today.
Judge Pridgeon.
Judge Pridgeon. This case discussion deals with 2 cases, file number EO-2032.0369 and file number EO-2023-0370. in the matter of Missouri Metro and Evergy Missouri West notice of intent to file an application for authority to establish a demand side programs investment mechanism. Judge Pridgeon.
Madam Chair, good morning. Judge Clark put this memo on the agenda just to remind the commission of the hearing that's set to begin Tuesday at 9 a.m. And I believe he has updated his memo recently to incorporate the parties' position statements. And I believe that's all I have unless the commission has any questions.
Appreciate Judge Clark's memo. I know that there's been a lot of developments in this case. I can't even remember if it was the end of last week where Mr. Gunn filed rebuttal testimony highlighting a previous agenda discussion of the commission. I think in his rebuttal, he's generally going in the right direction, focusing on limiting program offerings and focusing more on demand response. However, I think there's a lot of questions about that rebuttal testimony that still exist. Primarily program costs. I think that there was a delegation order requesting that work papers be filed so the commission can better evaluate those program costs. And in his rebuttal, he also highlighted that if the commission were to evaluate their administrative costs for MIA program offerings, it would be somewhere around 8.5%. And that sometimes we talk past each other when we talk about administrative costs. But for me, I think the big picture, and I think it was highlighted by Jeff Mark's table in the Ameren case, was how much of the benefits go directly to customers and how much are other costs. So that's basically what I'm going to be looking at and focusing on. And then also, it was not clear to me if the company was still hoping to keep prospective EM&V. And from the Ameren MIA 2 case, I think it's really important to ensure that we have some kind of retrospective EM&V to make it meaningful. So with that, I'll just look forward to seeing more and more from the company and hearing more in the hearing next week. So that's looking forward to hearing and seeing other commissioners. Commissioner Coleman.
Madam Chair, I agree with your comments completely and look forward to that information also.
Commissioner Holzman.
Thank you. Yep, I think you're on track.
Commissioner Kolkmeyer.
Yes, Madam Chair, I totally agree with your comments. The benefit to the customer and to the company is totally out of balance here. So I think we need to take a serious look at this.
Commissioner Mitchell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think the commission is definitely on the right track, and important to me, as it's important to you, is how much of the investment directly flows to the ratepayer, because we have to be ever mindful that that's where the money is coming from. So I appreciate your comments and agree.
Thank you. All right. I don't think there's any further discussion on that item. We do have two other discussion items. So I would ask Shelley and Rodney to come to the table.
Good morning, commissioners. So this item today is a request to go ahead and issue and start the process of an invitation for bids for legal services for cases, and essentially our contract term expires October 31st. And so we go through this process every few years to go ahead and invite bids for those firms that are interested in representing the commission in electric and gas cases in DC. And we would like a vote to approve the process to begin.
Great. Are there any questions for Shelley or Rodney on the invitation for bid?
Madam Chair, I have a question.
Yes, please.
We've talked about trying to prioritize Missouri-based firms or growing our own, from our universities or somehow getting. Is there a way? I guess my question is there a way to put a qualifier weight or a balance, something that gives Missouri companies an opportunity to be first in line for evaluation, or something that prioritizes a Missouri-based firm over someone out of DC or New York?
So that's an interesting question. We have been starting that process in other evaluations. Here, what's challenging is we can do a lot of this work in-house. A lot of what we need the presence of a FERC attorney for is to actually physically go to the hearings, because FERC does not allow, in some instances, remote presence. You have to be physically in the settlement negotiation, or you have to be in the pre-hearing conference, or you have to be physically present at the hearing. And so the costs of us actually trying to fly out there, have hotel bills, things like that for a 3-hour appearance, especially cost effect wise, is why we have the FERC attorney. And so that's why we typically want a firm that's DC based. We can try to see if they have an office in Missouri, but for me on this particular issue, I don't know that is the focus or the point scale that we want to weigh this in on, because we need them close by in this DC to FERC in case we need them to run over there to file something for us.
So then would it come down to a DC firm then? Because would we pay expenses for a firm in, say, Philadelphia or New York to travel to DC to do this?
Not typically, no. I mean, really the focus is that we want a local firm or a firm with an office, so that, yes, those travel reimbursements that we don't have to pay, that they could walk down the street or, take a taxi or something like that to go over there if needed. Because if we're going to pay somebody to fly, we can fly.
And is this a 3-year contract then? So we wouldn't revisit this for 3 years?
Yeah, it's it's for a term of a total of 4 years, but it's a 1-year contract, and it has 3 options for renewal at the end of each year. So, and again, that's up to us. If we want to renew it, if we like the performance, we can renew it for up to 3 years, but we're only allowed by OA provisions to issue a contract for a total of 4 years. So that's why we're rebidding this thing now.
What was is it confidential? Would we have to go into close to know what we had previously been contracting the amount for the last contract?
I'm happy to, I don't know if that amount is open. I'm looking at Rob Versloy's. So if you want that information, I can go provide that to you. And that could be part of the conversation of when we actually get bids and receive.
So today's just authorizing putting the request out there.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. That's all the questions I have, Madam Chair.
I agree that we've been on a track to try to prioritize a lot of things in Missouri-based firms, just trying to focus on our own folks and making sure our people have the opportunity to participate. So it might be, I know that OA compliments of another commissioner's advisor had highlighted that in OA bidding policy, they do give preference for like additional points for certain criteria. And so maybe additional points for the criteria of having an office located in Missouri is something that we could put in this contract, or look at the evaluation process on. So maybe we could visit about that. Are there other questions from commissioners? Seeing none. Do we need a vote?
Yes, ma'am.
All those in favor of approving this invitation for bid, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? I vote 5-0, that is approved.
Thank you.
The next item is to request an invitation for bid for court reporter services. Judge Chappelle.
And similar to your last discussion, this is to begin the process to put an invitation for bid for court reporting services that we could contract with directly instead of using it would be complementary to using the current state contract.
Great. And this is coming forward in this particular format because we had previously attempted to hire a court reporter and was unsuccessful. And so we are attempting to try it in a different way so that we can still procure court reporter services, and that can potentially speed up the time in which we receive transcripts, which then speeds up the time we can make decisions. So that is the why behind this invitation for bid. Are there any other questions from commissioners? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving this invitation for bid for court reporter services, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? By a vote of 5-0, that is approved. Last item of the day is for scheduling. We will continue our local public hearings for case GR-2024-0106 for Liberty Gas with Judge Hatcher. We'll continue those today in Kirksville at the Adair County Courthouse at noon. Tomorrow at noon and 6 p.m. WebEx only. Tuesday, September 10th at the Kennett City Hall at 6 p.m. Wednesday, September 11th, 12 p.m. at the Sykeston City Hall. And Wednesday, September 11th, 6 p.m. at the Cape Girardeau Public Library. Tuesday, September 3rd through Monday, September 9th, there's an evidentiary hearing in the case we just had case discussion about, Evergy, Missouri Metro and Evergy, Missouri West application for authority to establish a demand side programs investment mechanism in room 310 at 9 a.m. with Judge Clark. Next Thursday, September 5th, agenda will be at 12 noon to accommodate the holiday and the hearing, and it will also be in hearing room 310 because we will have a presentation from Spire. Wednesday, September 11th, agenda at 10:15 a.m. And Thursday, September 12th, there's an evidentiary hearing in case EO-2024-0194 in the matter of the application of Southway Storage for change of electric supplier from Empire Liberty to White River Valley Electric Cooperative in room 310 at 9 a.m. with Judge Hatcher. Commissioners, are there any changes or modifications to the schedule? Seeing none. Any other business before the commission? Seeing none, we are adjourned. Have a great day.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.